Today, I'm going to be making the oldest player on every team a rookie again. Starting off with the Philadelphia 76ers. PJ Tucker is only 19 years old now and a whopping 69 overall. The Milwaukee Bucks have Brook Lopez at 18 years old. The Bulls have DeMar DeRozan. It'd be nice if they could get some young players because I feel like they should start rebuilding. The Cavs have Ricky Rubio. Al Horford is a rookie for the Celtics. The Clippers have young Russ, which could be really interesting. If he starts to develop and reach his prime, they could have a dangerous squad. Another player who could be really interesting is Steve Rose for Memphis. Him and John, the backcourt could be nasty. The Hawks have Wesley Matthews. He's about the same overall as a rookie as he is in real life right now. Same thing for Kyle Lowry. They got him at a pretty low overall in 2K. Same thing goes for Gordon Hayward. He's kind of fallen off in 2K as well. The Utah Jazz have NBA legend Kelly Olynyk at a 71 overall. The Sacramento Kings have Harrison Barnes on the roster. 77 at only 18. They had him as a pretty high overall as a rookie. The Knicks have Evan Fournier. Maybe he can find some PT now that he's young again. The Lakers have LeBron James. The old man is back, and he's a young player once again. The Orlando Magic have Joe Ingles. I was kind of confused when they signed him this offseason, but Joe got his bag. Our next team is the Dallas Mavericks, who have Shaqtin' a Fool legend JaVale McGee. He might end up getting waived or traded by the team, so maybe this can be a way for him to get a second chance. The Brooklyn Nets have Spencer Dinwiddie at only a 69 overall. I don't know how he's still in the league. No disrespect, he'd still drop me off, but DeAndre Jordan is a rookie for the Denver Nuggets. TJ McConnell is a 69 overall rookie for the Indiana Pacers. The New Orleans Pelicans have CJ, who got off to a slower start to his career, which is why he is only a 72 overall. The Detroit Pistons have Bojan Bogdanovic, adding even more to their young core. He was actually more of a vet for their team before. I mean, of course, because he was the oldest player. Anyway, the Raptors have Thaddeus Young, an 18-year-old who is 75 overall. Jeff Green, Uncle Jeff, now he's Nephew Jeff. He's young once again. He's a 76 overall. The San Antonio Spurs have three-point shooting legend Reggie Bullock. The next team we have is the Phoenix Suns, who have Kevin Durant. KD's really getting up there in age, but he's still getting buckets in real life. The Thunder have Davis Bertans, 18 years old, 72 overall. Mike Conley is young again for the Minnesota Timberwolves, giving them a point guard of the future. And the Portland Trailblazers, this one's interesting. They've got a lot of young guards, and as a result, Dame might have to come off the bench behind Scoot Henderson. The Golden State Warriors have Chris Paul. This would make that Chris Paul trade look much better if he was 19 years old once again. And the Wizards have Danilo Gallinari. You might not have known he was on the roster, but he was a part of the Celtics KP trade. Anyway, we've got a lot of things that will change in the league as a result of this, so let's go ahead and get into it. LeBron James was the Rookie of the Year. Not too big of a surprise. Chris Paul was really good off the bench for the Golden State Warriors. Miles Turner took home a DPOY. Sengun was the most improved player. Quinn Snyder was the Coach of the Year for the Atlanta Hawks. Now, our rookie players might take some time, except for Bron. He's already on All-NBA second team. He's just him. But yeah, some of these guys might take some more time to develop their games. Okay, Chris Paul is on all defense. Maybe I just don't know basketball. The all-rookie teams look absolutely crazy. We've got a lot of talent here. And remember, we also have the players who were drafted in the 2023 draft class. So just so much young talent in this league. Let's go ahead and simulate past the first round. Then we'll take a closer look at things and see what's going on in these NBA playoffs. See if any of our rookie players can make an instant impact. In round number 2, we got the Grizzlies and the Oklahoma City Thunder. I guess the Grizzlies have D Rose as the sixth man behind John Morant, and the Thunder have Davis Bertans warming Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's seat. The New Orleans Pelicans and the Golden State Warriors are facing off. The Pels have CJ, who's again probably warming the bench. And then the Warriors have Chris Paul, who's probably coming off the bench running sixth man. We got the Celtics and the Heat. This matchup's pretty much the same as we saw this past season, except the Celtics have KP now. I mean, Lowry's a pretty similar overall to what he was before we made him a rookie. And then we've got the Cavs and the Bucks. The Cavs have Ricky Rubio, and the Milwaukee Bucks have Brook Lopez, but they traded for Clint Capella. I guess they didn't trust their rookie big man to hold it down for them at the center position. The Grizzlies are going to go ahead and move on, and so are the Cavs, so we could see D Rose get a championship alongside Ja Morant. The Pelicans will move on to face the Memphis Grizzlies, so it looks like CJ McCollum is making some type of impact, or he isn't. Maybe he's just getting carried. The Boston Celtics are facing the Cleveland Cavaliers here, a pretty common conference finals because both of these teams are pretty dominant in the game of 2K. Let's go ahead and simulate, see how these series go. The Cavs get out in a sweep, and the Memphis Grizzlies get out in 6 games. Now we have a face-off between Memphis and, of course, Cleveland. Derrick Rose has been hooping throughout these NBA playoffs en route to a Memphis Grizzlies finals appearance. And the Cavs, I guess they ended up trading Ricky Rubio. So what did Drake say? Embarrassing? Like, there is no way they went out and they traded Ricky Rubio. But anyway, let's just lock into this finals matchup. We'll forget about the Cleveland Cavaliers going out and making that move. They're going to take game 1. Grizzlies will take game 2 and 3 and 4 to take a commanding 3-1 lead. But the Cavs said, we've been here before, and they're looking to make a 3-1 comeback here in game 7. And in game 7, we had a close one, but the lights were brighter than expected when I was simulating, and I accidentally clicked to go past the game, and I should have stopped the simulation, man. But the Grizzlies ended up winning by 3 points in game 7, holding down their 3-1 lead. Ja Morant is a champion. Derrick Rose is a champion. So we already see one of our rookies actually impacting the game, as he had a significant role for Memphis. But this offseason, things will get crazy because so many of our players are set to become free agents, meaning that they could end up going to new teams because, you know, that's how free agency works. But unfortunately, a lot of our guys didn't end up signing early on in free agency because they wanted too much money. Usually young players with high potential expect a lot of money. But eventually we saw guys like Mike Conley switch teams to go to Brooklyn. And while I was scrolling through the list of young players in the league, I saw Bronny James pop up, and I just really hope that everything's okay with him and he can eventually be healthy so that he can return back to the court. It looks like he's all right now, but hopefully he can get back to that point where he's playing basketball safely. But I'm glad that they were able to take care of things and he's back in stable condition. Anyways, you look at some of these players moving teams, you could see that we did see quite a few changes around the league. Ultimately, we probably won't see the effects of those until a couple years from now because only a few guys are dominating the league at a really young age, like Kevin Durant and LeBron James. Both of these guys are generational players, so you really wouldn't expect anything less from them. Speaking of generational, Luka is the MVP of the league. Derrick Rose ends up winning 6-man. Him and Ja would just be electric alongside each other if Derrick Rose was still in his prime. I did do a video where I put prime D Rose playing with Ja whenever the Grizzlies went out and signed Ja Morant. Anyway, LeBron James is on the All-NBA first team. A really good second season for him. KD, All-NBA second team in his second season. Wemby's also there on All-NBA. A lot of young players. Brandon Miller, Chris Paul, tons of these guys making impacts early on in their careers. There's Scoot on the all-defensive team. So great stuff from those guys. Let's hop into the playoffs, see if any of our young players can take a more prominent role in their team's success. Maybe some of these guys will be starting and making impacts on these deep playoff runs. We saw D Rose coming off the bench for Memphis last season, en route to an NBA championship. We got Magic Cavs second round. It's like Joe Ingles, and of course the Cavs ended up trading away Ricky Rubio, so nothing much there to see in terms of our rookies. But the Grizzlies and the Lakers is a good matchup of our young guys. The Grizzlies have Kawhi? How did they get Kawhi? Okay, hold on. We gotta check this out. Got my voice cracking and all that. Kawhi Leonard, 1 year, $10.85 million. He's playing alongside D Rose, Desmond Bane, Jaren Ja. Yeah, just hand them the NBA championship. Give them the Larry O'Brien. There's no way they end up losing this. I can't believe that they got such a high overall player on a bargain of a contract. I mean, over $10 million. That's a lot of money, but for Kawhi Leonard, they were able to land him, which is crazy. Wow. But yeah, the Grizzlies are going to beat the Lakers in a gentleman's sweep. I mean, that's kind of a given. And there really wasn't any interesting series in round 2. All gentlemen's sweeps. And I'm just going to simulate round. We kind of already know what's going to happen. Memphis versus Cleveland rematch. I guess Derrick Rose is about to get his second ring. Let's be honest. There's no way this Cavs team is going to take down the Cleveland Cavaliers. Or wait, other way. Wait, I just said the Cavs aren't going to take down the Cleveland Cavaliers. I meant there's no way this Cavs team is going to be able to take down the Grizzlies. Derrick Rose, great playoff run. But, I mean, yeah, I would expect him to get the championship with that stacked team. But speaking of stacked, free agency is just getting way too crazy. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off salary cap and hard cap because I feel like we'll have a situation where a lot of our guys just aren't getting deals. So I went ahead and did that. Chris Paul is heading back to the Clippers in a pretty crazy free agency move. Derrick Rose left Memphis to get a more prominent role, I'm guessing, with the Brooklyn Nets. The Rockets bring back their guys with Jalen Green and Alperen Sengun. And we'll go ahead and get to the end of the season. We'll do a deeper dive into the top rosters around the league as well. Damian Lillard won the Sixth Man of the Year. Young Dame is having to back up Scoot. And there's CJ, Dame's former backcourt partner, winning Most Improved Player. Like I mentioned, it took him a little bit more time to develop his game. Bron All-NBA first, KD All-NBA second, Wemby's also there, and Scoot ended up making All-NBA third team as well. Bron, all defensive, just dominant, man. And there's Chris Paul and KD on the all-defensive teams as well. Looking at the NBA standings so that we can get a better grasp on these rosters because there's a lot of player movement. The Boston Celtics were the number 1 team in the Eastern Conference, and they were absolutely stacked. They picked up Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi's just on a ring-chasing tour, I guess. He's coming off the bench. Number 2 seed is Brooklyn with Derrick Rose. They got Mike Conley coming off the bench as well. They really bought in to this youth movement, and they have a very young roster. The Orlando Magic are the 3rd seed. They already have a lot of young players on the squad. The Philadelphia 76ers are 4. They pick up D'Lo to come off the bench, pick up some good depth guys like Derek White and Bruce Brown. The Milwaukee Bucks are at 5 after picking up Lauri Markkanen. Al Horford has developed well. They got Clint Capella coming off the bench. The Raptors got Kyle Lowry back. They got the script. They knew they had to bring him back. The Charlotte Hornets are the 7th seed. Gordon Hayward developing well, flourishing with the Charlotte Hornets. The Cavs fall off is here. They're the 8th seed. Jeff Green makes his Cleveland Cavaliers return. The Western Conference, OKC, they picked up BI in free agency. They dominated the West, number 1 seed. The Young Rockets are here as well. An absolutely stacked roster. The Denver Nuggets picked up Donovan Mitchell, and they got Kyrie. They got MPJ coming off the bench. Why would they start Isaac Okoro over MPJ? I don't know. Why would they even start Jamal Murray over Kyrie and 2K? I'm not really sure. The Spurs have PG, Russ, and Wemby. The Lakers have Bron, AD, Fred VanVleet. The Utah Jazz are the Utah Jazz. The New Orleans Pelicans are the Pelicans. CJ's up to an 81. He won Most Improved. The Blazers have way too many guards. Please get some big men or something, but they have a good roster as well. Things are getting crazy as we head into this year's playoffs. After round number 1, we've got the Lakers and the Thunder facing off in the Western Conference. Can Bron make his first deep playoff run of the video? The Rockets and the Nuggets are facing off. That stacked Nuggets team is going to be tough to beat. The Bucks and the Cavs. Of course, the Cavs had to pull the 8 seed upset to make it into the second round. And then we've got the Nets and Magic. Can Derrick Rose make it back to the finals with a new team? Well, it looks like Bron isn't going to make it. He almost made the comeback there. He ends up losing in 7 to the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Lakers go down, but Bron had a solid run, ended up making a second round. And then the Brooklyn Nets go down to the Orlando Magic, so Derrick Rose can't three-peat with rings in this video. Now, we've got the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Denver Nuggets. The Nuggets are absolutely stacked, but the Thunder are really good in their own right. The Milwaukee Bucks are taking on the Orlando Magic in the Eastern Conference as well. The Nuggets just dominating. They go ahead and sweep the Thunder, and the Bucks sweep the Magic. So both of these teams dominating in their respective conferences, but who's going to take home the championship? Game 1 goes to the Bucks. Game 2 goes to Denver. Game 3 goes to the Bucks. The Bucks are up 3-1, and they're going to win in a gentleman's sweep. Giannis gets ring number 2, and Al Horford making an impact for the Milwaukee Bucks en route to another championship for the franchise. We've got another crazy free agency. When do we not have a crazy free agency? Things have been wild in this video. After a lot of days of free agency, we were on day 12 of 12. KD and Derrick Rose decided to team up in Sacramento. De'Aaron Fox went to the Suns. Steph returned to Golden State. He's teaming up with Jaren Jackson. And by the end, we saw even more moves. Some moves took a little while to come in after day 12 of free agency, but Dame, he went to Detroit. DeMar went to the Pelicans. Lots of stuff went on, and we'll have that more in the recap when we look at the standings for this season. Victor Wembanyama took home a Rookie of the Year and a Defensive Player of the Year. Cade Cunningham is a 6th man with the Pistons, which is crazy. And Jacques Vaughn, the coach of the Nets, is the Coach of the Year. We're seeing our guys really explode onto the scene this season. Lots of them making all NBA teams. I'm very interested to see how the Derrick Rose and KD duo did in Sacramento. Very good squad there, in my opinion. Lots of our guys made all defense as well. They're just doing great stuff, man. They're just hooping, getting buckets, and they're locking down on the defensive side of the basketball. But in the Eastern Conference, the Nets, they were number 1. They were really good this season. Derrick Rose no longer in Brooklyn, though. The Celtics, oh my goodness, they are stacked. Got Brad Beal now in Boston. The Knicks picked up Karl Anthony Towns to come off the bench. They're looking good. The Cavs, of course, they've got to be good because it's 2K. They're the 4 seed in the East. At 5, you have the Philadelphia 76ers. Solid squad there as well. At 6, you've got the Atlanta Hawks. We haven't really seen too many of our young guys in here, but there's Danilo Gallinari for Atlanta. A former Hawks legend is back in town. The Portland Trail Blazers, they picked up Ricky Rubio to come off the bench after Dame left them to go to Detroit. The Houston Rockets, they don't have any of our guys here. I don't see any of them, but they're doing a really good job. They're the 2nd seed. The Oklahoma City Thunder, remember they picked up B.I. They also got Kevin Huerter to knock down some shots for them off the bench. Then at the 4 seed, you have the Sacramento Kings. There's the KD and D Rose duo. They've still got Sabonis. They've got D'Lo coming off the bench. We've seen D'Lo on quite a few teams in this video. The Lakers, they're number 5. They got Lonzo back in town quickly. Bron, AD. The Spurs with Russ, Wemby, Jeremy Sohan, Keldon Johnson, PG. They end up making it into the playoffs as the 6th seed. I think we're in for another interesting year of playoff basketball, so let's go ahead and get into it. Round 2, Portland versus LA. Bron trying to break past the second round and make a deep playoff run. We've got the Spurs and the Houston Rockets. I think that the Spurs team, Russ and Wemby would be crazy, man. Then we've got the Sixers and the Brooklyn Nets. I think that the Brooklyn Nets picked up one of our guys. They might have Mike Conley on the squad. I could be wrong about that. The Boston Celtics versus the Atlanta Hawks. The Celtics are going to be tough to beat. They have an absolutely stacked squad, but we'll see how these series end up going. The Portland Trailblazers make easy work out of the Lakers, sweeping them. We do have a Game 7 between Houston and the Spurs that comes down to the wire. Our first hop-in game of the video, 108-108. The ball goes to Westbrook for 3. Oh no, Russ! But the Rockets get it back off the Russell Westbrook miss. Jalen Green with the basketball looking to make a play. Jalen gives it to Sengun. He's fouled by Russ. Smart foul. But unfortunately for Russ, Sengun converts on both free throws. Now the Spurs looking to make a play, down by 2 points here. Paul George has the basketball. George looking for something. He gets the screen up top. PG the pull up, and it's good. PG gets the bucket. He's got 21 in this one, and that's a big 2 there to tie up the game. Houston looking for an answer. Jalen Green. Jalen trying to make a play. Jalen's got the side of the floor to himself, and he makes use of it, getting the easy layup. He was all alone there, and he got the bucket. Now, the Spurs, that was a really weird layup by PG, but he's looking at his hand. He's probably like, how did I do that? But he made it, and the game is tied. The Rockets have it again. Jalen, the pull-up midi, it's off, and now the Spurs, they got a chance. Can they make a big play here? We've seen PG come up clutch. Are they going to go to him? Are they? Oh, yep, they are. Paul George, a beautiful cut. I saw him on his podcast talking about how he couldn't cut, but he can in 2K. The Rockets get it. Jalen Green, the pull-up 3. It's off. Wembanyama gets the board and gives it to Russ for the free throws. Russ is going to knock both of them down. Clutch time, Russ. Now the Rockets are in deep trouble, and they get themselves in even deeper trouble with that missed 3, and even deeper trouble with that missed 3. The game is over. The Spurs are moving on. Hey, PG was going crazy in the clutch, just bucket after bucket to allow the Spurs to move on into the conference finals. And we had a Game 7 between the Nets and the Sixers, but I accidentally pressed the wrong button, so that's my bad. I didn't even realize that Game 7 was going on. Ultimately, the Sixers are going to win that one. Now, we've got the Spurs and the Blazers. The Blazers with a stacked front court. They got Bam and Ayton in there. And then we've got the Sixers and the Celtics. I don't know how anybody's stopping the Celtics team, but we'll see how it goes. Maybe I'm underestimating the Philadelphia 76ers. Early on in these series, the Spurs are dominating, but it looks like we're going to get some close ones. 2 Game 7s here, and we've got the Celtics and the Sixers. This one is going to be a big win by the Sixers. My bad, Philly. I owe you an apology. I wasn't familiar with your game. They're going to somehow beat this stacked Celtics squad to move on to the NBA Finals. And then we still have another Game 7. The gift that keeps on giving. The 2K simulation. And it's going to be between Portland and San Antonio. And Portland's going to win it. Scoot is advancing to the NBA Finals. Ricky Rubio is hooping in these playoffs as well. Paul George couldn't get it done. He had some crazy moments though when we hopped in to that Game 7. Now it is a Philadelphia versus Portland NBA Finals. Let's see how this one goes. Game 1's going to go to Philly. Game 2's going to go to Philly. Okay, Portland, you're in trouble. And they're going to lose. James Harden is your Finals MVP. Again, we got a crazy free agency. These free agencies have just been wild. And we did see some pretty cool moves this season, like Karl Anthony Towns going to the Sixers, but nothing too crazy. We had to wait for some guys to get their deals, so there was more player movement. But again, for you all to keep up with the top teams, I'll have an overview of all the standings at the end of the season. Nikola Jokic was named the MVP of the league. We've seen him win some MVPs before. CJ McCollum is the 6th man of the year. And Wemby is the DPOY, Billy Donovan Coach of the Year. Derrick Rose makes an All-NBA first team, him and KD. So that's a real dynamic duo there they have going on in Sacramento. I want to see those guys get a championship. It'd be cool to see that duo hooping in the playoffs, but we haven't seen them in a conference finals so far, which is kind of surprising. D Rose won some rings early on in this video, but he's been a little quiet ever since. We'll have to see if that'll change in this year's playoffs, but he's definitely going to have some comp. Looking around the league, these teams are good. Of course, Boston, they picked up Amen Thompson, and now they got Brad Beal coming off the bench. How much help does Jason Tatum need? The Brooklyn Nets, they're also pretty good. They've been a force to be reckoned with throughout this video. What am I, 75? I said a force to be reckoned with. Bro, what are you talking about? The Cavs are the 3rd seed. The Orlando Magic are the 4th seed. The Magic are, yeah, they're pretty cool. The Bucks, they've got DeAndre Jordan and Al Horford, 2 of our players that hopped into the fountain of youth and are young again. The Philadelphia 76ers are the 6th seed. They got Karl Anthony Towns coming off the bench behind Joel Embiid. Joel and Cat in the front court? That's kind of interesting. The number 1 seed is the Thunder. They've been the number 1 seed quite a lot in this video. The Kings are number 2. That D Rose and KD duo. The Nuggets with their super team are 3rd in the West. The Timberwolves are also really good. They got Brunson starting at PG. CJ coming off the bench. Rudy's coming off the bench now. The Portland Trail Blazers, they have a really nice front court now, which is good to see. They had a lot of backcourt players earlier on in this video. And then the Jazz round out the top 6. The Lakers don't even make it into the playoffs. They're in the play-in, and they don't even end up winning the play-in. So Bron's kind of been struggling in this video, man. And speaking of struggling, Sacramento ended up getting swept by the 7th seed. The T-Wolves got Kawhi. I didn't even notice that. Kawhi, he's on a generational team hopping tour. The Pelicans are facing the Nuggets. Good luck, New Orleans. It's going to be tough getting past that Denver team. Then we've got the Boston Celtics and the Orlando Magic. Orlando's definitely going to need to work some magic if they're going to beat that Boston team. The Nets are taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Cavs, they look pretty good. Steven Adams running the 5 is kind of crazy at this point in the simulation, but we'll see if he can hold it down. He's got big muscles. Anyway, bro, what am I talking about? Anyway, we got some game 7s here. We got one between Brooklyn and Cleveland and one between OKC and Minnesota. So we'll go ahead and sim this Brooklyn-Cleveland one first. It isn't even close. Mikal Bridges, 44. Jalen Duren, 33 and 15. He went crazy. And the Cavs, the lights were brighter than expected. They lost. Now we've got this game 7 between the T-Wolves and the Thunder, and it's going to be the Oklahoma City Thunder who go ahead and get the dub. A big win for OKC to advance to the conference finals. They won by 7 in this one against a really good Minnesota Timberwolves team. I mean, they had Kawhi, Brunson, Ant, really good squad. Even CJ was on the team, so that was a really good team that they ended up winning against. The Pelicans are facing the Thunder in the conference finals here. The Thunder, the number 1 seed, coming off a big Game 7 win. And then the Brooklyn Nets are facing the Boston Celtics. The Celtics absolutely stacked, but the Nets have been a force in the East for quite a few seasons, especially in the regular season, but they got cooked by Boston. And also, the Oklahoma City Thunder go ahead and beat the Pels. So now we've got a Celtics-Thunder finals. Can the Thunder take down this Celtics super team? Early on, it looks like the Thunder have a real chance. They're up 2-0, but the Celtics bounce back and take the next 2, setting up a pivotal Game 5 where we get a hop in. The Thunder down by 3 here. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, SGA, looking to get a bucket. Shai, kind of a tough layup, but he gets his own rebound, goes back up with it, and gets the layup. 1-point game. Boston Celtics up by 1 here. off the big SGA bucket. Jason Tatum down the lane, a beautiful layup there to go ahead and put his team up 3. SGA looking to answer, gets to the rim, tough take, and it's off. Now the Boston Celtics up by 3. Another bucket would really put them in control. Jason Tatum, maybe give it to JB and force him to his left hand, but they're not going to do that, and it is just a short pull-up for JT. This game is over. The Boston Celtics are going to go ahead and win. After getting off to a great 2-0 start, the Thunder are really struggling, and the Celtics are going to take them down. They got down 2-0 and just took the next 4. But in the offseason, we saw some crazy stuff happen. The Lakers picked up Nikola Jokic and Evan Mobley. So now LA is absolutely stacked. Yeah, they lost AD, I guess. But look at this team. Bron has no excuse to not get a chip. But also in LA, Chris Paul, he won the MVP this season. Alperen Sengun was the 6th man of the year. LeBron James took home a DPOY. Mike Budenholzer was the coach of the year. CP3 and LeBron were both on the first team. Russ was on the second team. Jokic was there too, so the Lakers looking real crazy. D Rose on the third team. Derek, you got to start making some noise in Sacramento, man. We saw you going crazy earlier on, but now it's time to start hooping again, really winning chips. We'll see what he can do. But the Boston Celtics, number 1 in the East, they picked up Mr. Baddies, Jordan Poole. They're just too good. The Brooklyn Nets, they're also pretty good. The Detroit Pistons, they got Dame, Lowry, Cade. Oh, man, they got a lot of backcourt players. This Milwaukee team looks real solid too. The Cavs, they're here at 5. They picked up Anthony Davis, got Sengun coming off the bench. The Sixers picked up Sabonis. They also still have Cat. They're stacked in the front court. Speaking of stacked in the front court, the Lakers, they picked up Kyrie. They got Kyrie alongside Bron. Oh, this team is crazy. Bron, if you lose, man, you sold. This team's absolutely stacked. The Oklahoma City Thunder are the 2nd seed. They're very good as well, but Bron, he's got no excuses to not go out there and win the chip this year. Kings, also, y'all need to make some noise this season as well. The Minnesota Timberwolves, Kawhi Leonard sticks around there. They picked up Wendell Carter Jr., Naz Reid. This team's also really good because Naz Reid was there in the front court, but they strengthened it by picking up Wendell. Yeah, that squad's solid. But let's go ahead and simulate the first round. Bron, you better make it out this first round. And they do. The Lakers win. They're facing the Kings. KD versus Bron here in the second round. That's exactly what I am here for. Bron versus KD. Derrick Rose is here as well. Evan Mobley, Jokic. I mean, there is no reason the Lakers should be losing out here, but we'll see how that one goes. Pelicans versus the Oklahoma City Thunder. SGA, Josh Giddey. Y'all know the drill for the Thunder. The Pelicans, also a really good team. They got Zion. They've got a lot of other good guys. The Celtics facing up against the Milwaukee Bucks. Can somebody take down the Celtics team, man? They're way too good. And the Brooklyn Nets are taking on the Philadelphia 76ers. The Sixers have been pretty good, but I don't think we've seen them make too much playoff noise. No, they won a chip earlier on in the video. What am I talking about? The Lakers go ahead and gentlemen sweep their opponent, the Kings, to advance to the conference finals, and the Thunder do the same. So we're here. Both of these teams have done well so far in the playoffs, but Bron, it's your chance to make a finals appearance. And then the Celtics are facing the Sixers, and I really don't think the Sixers are a match for Boston, but we'll see how this one goes. Bron, I swear, if you sell this one, they're down 3-1 to OKC. Bron, you better come back. They lost, man. No way. And now the Thunder are taking on the Boston Celtics. Like, Bron, you can't be serious right now. And the Thunder are gonna win. I got nothing to say. Bron blew it, and the Thunder go ahead and get a chip, so congrats to them. But he really blew his chance. But this year, free agency was crazy. Giannis went to the Celtics. Chris Paul and D Rose went to the Lakers. But Bron, he went to the Celtics. You should have stayed. LeBron, you could have played with all those guys, man. Why did you do that? But Boston, they're really good. He's going to play with Giannis. But why would you go from the Celtics to the Lakers? That's kind of crazy. And look at this Lakers team. You would have fit perfectly at the small forward spot. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I said, Boston's great. And Bron, if you blow this one, you're on fraud watch, man. I can't say much else. Chris Paul is coming off the bench with the Lakers. Do you understand why you should have stayed with them, Bron? Oh my goodness, this video, man. And Darvin Ham, Coach of the Year, 71 wins. If they would have had Bron, 82-0. All right, bro, I'm sounding like LeBron's #1 fan. Like I got 72 posters of LeBron James on my wall. Like I wake up and put on my LeBron James Cleveland jersey. And then after breakfast, I go ahead and put on my Bron Lakers jersey. And then after lunch, I put on my Bron Heat jersey. And then I switch to the Bron t-shirts because I'm just his #1 fan. But no, that's not really how it is anyway. Celtics are the #1 seed. Hawks are the #2 seed. Zion's in Toronto now, I guess, and they're the #3 seed. The Lakers, 71 wins. Absolutely ridiculous team with Derrick Rose now off the bench, even though Chris Paul won 6th Man of the Year. Pelicans are #2 with Jason Tatum, Subway legend, and the Utah Jazz are #3. That's really all we're going to look at. Y'all know the drill. We have simulated quite a few virtual basketball seasons at this point. Round #2, we're going to go through pretty quickly. I'm just trying to get to the conference finals, but now we've got some game 7s, so we've got to see what's going on. Mavericks-Lakers is the one we're going to check out first. We've got this stacked Lakers team that won 71 games, but Luka is aiming to take them down. Let's see if Luka can do it. Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks, they ran out of gas. The lights were brighter than expected, and they lost by 31 points in Game 7, but I don't even blame them. This Lakers team was ridiculous. Valiant effort from Luka to even take this to 7, and Bron might go down to Hamidou Diallo. Bron, I don't even know what to say. You better go ahead and lock in for this Game 7. The Boston Celtics, they're going to have to finish this one out in the clutch, and the Celtics actually subbed out Bron, so we'll see how this goes. I guess Bron has no dog in him in this simulation, but there we go. Amen Thompson gets the steal, and he passes it up to Evans. Evans gets the layup. That's who is running small forward for the Celtics instead of Bron. It's 100-100. They're going to go ahead and try to get the ball into the post, but it's another steal. Giannis pushing it. Amen Thompson, the short jumper. Oh, bro, I wish he would have just laid that up or done something else besides that jumper, but he did the jumper and he missed. 100-100. The Celtics have come up with some big defensive plays here. The Nets looking to get the ball in the post. Mikal Bridges gets the nice little bank shot to go, the nice little floater, layup, whatever you want to call it. He made a bucket. And now, made a bucket, sound like somebody's mom. Gary Trent Jr. throws up the brick. Oh my goodness, over the backboard is crazy. And now, the Nets could really close it out here if they get another bucket. An open 3 is up and it's off, so the Celtics, the door is still open. They sub Bron in. Bron looking to make a play. LeBron James legacy on the line. Fadeaway jumper. Oh man, they're going to be having a field day on First Take. LeBron's legacy was on the line and he missed the layup. Or not the layup, the mid-range. But yeah, he could have had the layup. I think he had the lane there. And this one is pretty much over. Yeah, GG's, man. Bron kind of blew it in the clutch there. I don't even know what to say. They had no business losing to this Brooklyn Nets team, but they lost to them. So Brooklyn is going to advance to the conference finals. Congratulations to them. A great performance. And now we've got a Lakers-Jazz conference finals in the Western Conference. Mike Conley Jr. is in Utah, even though Mike Conley is still in the league. The Philadelphia 76ers are also going to be taking on the Brooklyn Nets. Early on, the Utah Jazz are beating the Lakers, which is surprising because the Lakers, they won 71 games, but they will go ahead and finish out the series winning in 6. And the Philadelphia 76ers go ahead and beat the Brooklyn Nets. Can Derrick Rose and Chris Paul and them go ahead and get a championship? They can, winning in 4. Jokic is the finals MVP. And that's where I'm going to end off the video. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Have a great day. Be sure to like and subscribe.